guys, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.
12 Days of CouchCast edition.
Y'all, it's the second to last one. We're on day 11.
11.
You don't know it, do you?
Hold on.
11.
Piper's piping?
Look at you! I'm so impressed. I feel like that's the one that everyone always forgets about.
Yeah.
The Pipers. I don't know why.
Yeah. 11 Piper's piping. 10 lords sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
9 ladies dancing. 8 maids dancing. 7 swans dancing. 6 keys 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds. 3 French hens. 2 turtle doves. And a partridge in a pear tree. Sorry
Thank you. We'll be here all week.
Oh gosh. Okay, guys. Day 11. If you have been listening every day, God bless your soul, because you are either our best friend or you're gonna get sick of us. So, no, seriously, y'all. Thanks for being here. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to do this. It's been super fun to kind of get a bunch of y'all's questions answered, and we will be doing a few couch casts over the break.
Yeah,
we are gonna take an actual break between seasons this time. We'll have some content here and there.
Oh, yeah.
But we will take some time off. So this will be a good, if you have missed some or you're behind or whatever, you can stretch these 12 days of CouchCast out.
Last a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We probably should have told them that at the beginning, not on day 11.
I think we did.
Okay, good.
I'm just reminding them because, you know, it's Christmas. And
yes.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So I did have pie for breakfast today, though.
Because it's Christmas.
And that's just what I had in the fridge. So here we go. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Day 11.
Yes.
Are you ready for our question?
Yes. What are we talking about?
How long do I continue dating a guy if I'm not sure how physically attracted I am to him? Little sub thing underneath, or little disclaimer. He's an incredibly sweet, kind, respectful guy, but I just don't know how to tell if I'm attracted to him. Does physical attraction grow with time, or is it a hit or miss kind of thing? Now, before you answer, I want to say, if you've been around since the very beginning, you're like, they've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Which is true. However, this is probably one of the top 3 questions we get the most.
Yes,
of
for
like
sure.
All the things we hear from y'all, from CouchCast, from DMs, from emails, from all this stuff. We get this question still all the time. So we thought, okay, well, if we're still getting it, then we're still going to talk about it. And we'll answer it.
We're obviously not answering it correctly. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a tough thing because, well, even in our answering it, we're kind of like, oh, we'll give it a chance and you'll just know. And, oh, we'll just wait, give it more time. And it's like, well, how long do I give it? So I get how it's confusing.
Yeah.
But it's just hard.
It is hard. Okay. So how long, if he's incredibly sweet and kind and respectful.
See, I'm the one that says give it more time.
Right.
Now, read the first part of the question again, because I want to hear the exact wording.
How long do I continue dating a guy if I'm not sure how physically attracted I am to him?
Okay. Now, I'm going to say something here, and you can tell me if I'm mincing words or semantics or whatever. She said, if I'm not sure how physically attracted to him I am, AKA, I am attracted to him. And I don't know how much.
Yeah, that's how I read it too. It wasn't like, I'm not. So how long do I keep until hopefully something develops? It's, okay, I'm not maybe as physically attractive as I expected to be, but is that going to grow? It's kind of how I'm reading it.
Okay. And then read off the list of really great things about him.
He's sweet, kind, and respectful.
So he's got things going for him. I'm assuming you enjoy spending time with him. And you were attracted to him. You're just not sure if it's enough.
Well, and she lists those things about him, and then she's like, I just don't know how to tell if I'm attracted to him. So is it like maybe she's attracted to those things, but physically she's not, but there is an emotional attraction or something?
If you have that chemistry there, keep going. Because yes, I think that is when the physical attraction can build, is when there is something for it to build upon. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can build physical attraction from nothing on nothing. That's tough.
Yes.
But I go back and forth because I'm like, give it time. But I don't think it takes much time. If you go out with a guy a few times and you're like, oh my word, we click and he's just really sweet and kind and whatever, it's not going to take long before you're like, oh, I kind of want him to grab my hand and I think he's really cute and he's just adorable. Like, that doesn't take very long if it's going to happen. So give it some time. I'm saying if you've gone on a date and within the first 20 minutes, you're not like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm like super attracted to this guy. Give it time. But if by the third or fourth date, he's really great and you're just like, oh, I am not attracted to him, I don't think you let it go too much further past that.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you've been around for a while, y'all know I'm more quick to pull the plug than Bethany is about this. But in my experience, I'm thinking back now on the guys I've dated. And like, this is probably going to make me sound like a horrible person, but it's proving a point. So just stick with me.
No, you're good.
So the hottest guy I ever dated. I was in high school. Okay. And I mean, he was gorgeous. I'm not going to sit here and gloat about him, but he was very, very attractive. Okay. However, when it came to what I was attracted to, he made me feel really good about myself, and he was really cute. There was no like emotional connection there was nothing spiritual on his side whatsoever. And hence why I didn't my parents didn't let me date him.
I was going to say, don't give yourself too much credit.
No, my parents didn't let me date him. We're actually going to talk about him in tomorrow's CouchCast too, so that you'll just stay tuned for that. But I think about the guys who I've dated since then that I've been more serious with. If you want to go on the 1 to 10 scale, they weren't as high as the high school boyfriend on that scale, but I was way more attracted to them across the board. And that's why, one, those relationships lasted longer. Those had the potential to actually lead towards marriage. And they weren't a 9 or a 10 on the scale, but they became more and more attractive the more I learned about their relationship with the Lord and what they were passionate about and things about their personality and their character and all this kind of stuff. And so I think but there was something physically attractive about them to me. And that's where I'm like, okay, he doesn't have to be a 10. He's not going to look like Dansby Swanson or whoever else is my celebrity crush that I'm blanking on right now. Obviously not as cute as Dansby Swanson because he's the only one that comes to mind. But he doesn't have to look like that for me to still be super attracted to him. And I don't need to have that expectation that there's no way I could ever be physically attracted to a guy because he's not what I expected physically, like before I met him. Does that make sense?
It does. And I was going to say, don't go into dates, a potential relationship, whatever, with this idea of what your perfect guy looks like. And so then you're looking at this guy and you're saying, okay, well, he's okay, but he doesn't live up to this. There's a standard here that he can't live up to. Instead, get rid of that entirely and go into this without your quote unquote type hanging over you. Go into it saying, okay, what are the good things about this guy? Not what are the things that don't measure up to this unrealistic ideal I have. And I think that will be much more beneficial all around, because if you're trying to say, okay, well, normally I like this, but he's that, or normally but he's got this instead, you're not ever gonna reconcile the two, and it'll just leave you frustrated. So appreciate this guy for who he is, get to know him for who he is, and it will develop, and it just doesn't take very long.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think about too, like what you were just saying, as far as, okay, you have this expectation in your head of, oh, I normally like guys who are like this, or I normally gravitate towards guys who are like this. Whatever this is, you need to figure out, okay, is that something that is a deal breaker for me? Because if I'm normally dating, I normally like to date guys who are really confident, mm-hmm. because I've dated guys who aren't, and I've seen the repercussions of that, and that was really frustrating in our relationship and just in general. Okay, that's going to have some more like long-term repercussions. If it's, oh, normally I date guys who are over 6 feet tall, and he's 5'10", preaching to the choir. I hope my parents don't listen to this episode. But then, okay, you know what? It's not going to affect our relationship, the kind of person he is, his character. You know, even if I date a guy who's 6 feet, he's probably going to shrink when he gets to be 60 anyway. So it's not like, and I'm not going to care at that point. Yeah. So it's like, whatever you're hung up on, this is not normally my type. What are the repercussions of those things long term? Yeah. Because if it's just like, oh, well, I like longer hair on guys, he's going to lose it anyways. So, it's really not, not a big deal in the long term.
It's not. And think through what are the requirements you have of a guy to make him attractive to you? Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked a lot about, okay, it is fine to have things that they're not spiritual. They're not solely based on theology. They're not those things. But if you have 28 of those things and you're holding them at that same level of, is he kind? Is he patient? Is he teachable? Is he humble? Then you're out of whack a little. Mm-hmm. So look at the things that you are saying, okay, I want all of these things to be present for him to be attractive. And if those things are, okay, I want him to be over 6 feet tall and have brown hair and brown eyes and dress like this and do this and that and the other, like your list is getting a little bit long. It's fine to have one or two of those things that you'd really like to have. Mm-hmm. But even then, they shouldn't supersede. You know, the fruits of the Spirit are not love, joy, peace, height, patience, kindness, you know, eye color, and whatever. Like, that's not there. And so I think it is 100% fine, and you should be attracted to the person that you are married to.
Yes.
100%. And I think that gets glossed over a lot. Like, it's almost like, oh, well, if we talk about, oh, I'm attracted to them, like, it's not appropriate. No, you want to be attracted to the person that you're dating and the person that you marry, and that is totally fine. It is good. You should be. Hear me say that. It is good. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. But take a step back and look at your motivation and what is fueling you being attracted to that person. If it is not primarily their character, if it's not primarily their hunger for the Lord, their hunger for his word, and their striving after him, that, like we talk about informing your feelings, that should be informing your attraction to them. Because the person that you are attracted to and the person that you're married to, it's after, like, you're married to them and you're attracted to your husband or your wife. It's not, oh, you're attracted to this person, so marry them.
That's true.
It's look at this fruit of the Spirit and then marry based on those things. And then because you have made a commitment to love that person, your attraction will build. Now, hear the other part of what I said. You should be attracted to that person. It's not an either or, but take a step back and say, okay, what is informing my attraction to this person?
Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to point out too is Bethany saying, you should be attracted to whoever you're with. You should be. Not everybody else around you has to think that they're as cute as you think they are. And I really struggle with this because I look at a guy and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, like he's pretty cute, but I want everybody else to be like, wow, Kristen, look at you, like the way to outkick your coverage or whatever. Like, that's whatever. That's such a temptation.
Do you really want all your friends thinking your boyfriend is super cute? I'm like, no, it's fine if I'm the only one. I'm good with it.
From a practical standpoint, you would think that would be more of the posture.
I totally get it, though. You're like, oh, okay, what's everyone going to think? And what are they going to, whatever. And it's like, doesn't matter.
No. And honestly, your friend should be more concerned of like, are you happy with this guy? Exactly. Is he a good guy? Like, is he a solid person? Not like, oh, is he good looking, but he's a jerk. Like, so I know how difficult that is and what a temptation that is to be like, okay, well, I want to date somebody that everybody thinks is cute. And I want to date somebody that when we post pictures, it's like, oh my gosh, they're such like such beautiful a couple.
You're going to have the cutest kids. Yeah. And you just, whatever, the perfect life.
Exactly. So all that matters is that you're the only one that's going to marry him if that's your person. And in that case, you're the only person that's going to engage in any sort of like physical intimacy with them where that attraction like builds towards. So it doesn't really matter if anybody else thinks that about him. So I have to preach that to myself a lot. So I just wanted to remind y'all, like, if that's something that's holding you up,
stop.
Yeah. Don't let it, which I know is way easier said than done, but just keep that in your mind and ask yourself, like, hey, am I hesitating on how attracted I am to him because I'm worried what other people are going to think, or am I just having trouble finding myself attracted to him? So
on that note, if part of your confusion may stem from, okay, when it's just us, like it's totally fine. But then when there's other people around, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. My guess is if that's what you're running into, it's what you said, that it's like, oh, you're worrying too much about what other people think. And if you can get past that, then I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's such a good indicator. I'm glad you said that. So yeah, I guess to go back to the question then, we won't give you an exact time because again, it's dating and it's so different for everybody, but you'll know pretty quick.
I would say within a few dates.
Yes. But kind of our motivation in answering this is you really need to make sure your definition of attraction and your prerequisites, so to speak, for attraction are in a good place. Because like Bethany said, if you have 28 things that he has to check off to be attractive to you, then it's going to be super difficult. Of course, you're going to be second guessing if you're attracted to him because he only hits 17 of them, you know?
Well, and I would tell someone in that place, guy, girl, it doesn't matter. If you want to hold on to those 28 things and they're all really important to you, that is your prerogative.
It's true.
But you have to be realistic about the results of doing that and realize that you are eliminating a lot of people by doing that. If you want to, so be it, but go into that realistically too.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So if you find yourself in this place, y'all, if you're just give it a few dates, ask yourself all these questions we've talked about today, talk to your friends that you really trust, you know, and you'll know it's as much as there is like, okay, let me ask myself these questions, whatever. There is a bit of a gut element to it too. So you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We believe in y'all.
We have faith
You can
in
do
you.
it.
Absolutely.
You can do it for sure.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Well, that's all we have for you today. We'll be back tomorrow with our final day of the 12 days of CouchCast.
And then it's Christmas the day after,
And then
right?
it's Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Can't wait. So we will see y'all back tomorrow. But until then, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Bethany.
And this is Looking for the Middle.